Have you ever felt seen? I mean truly seen. Past the version of yourself you show the world? John 4. Jesus talks with a Samaritan woman. It's high noon in ancient Samaria. The sun is relentless and the air is thick with heat and unspoken history. A woman burdened by more than just her empty water jar approaches a well. She chose this scorching hour to avoid the whispers and judging eyes of her neighbors. But today she's not alone. A man is sitting by the well. He's a Jew, and she's a Samaritan, two groups separated by a deep well of prejudice. Then he speaks, breaking every social rule. Would you give me a drink? She's taken aback. You're a Jew, and I'm a Samaritan. How can you ask me for a drink? But this isn't just any man, this is Jesus. He looks at her past her defenses and says, if you knew who was asking, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. She's confused. Sir, the well is deep, and you have no bucket. Where do you get this living water? Jesus tells her, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give will never thirst. It will become a spring inside them, rising up to eternal life. Weariness flashes across her face. This is what she's been longing for, an end to her constant draining efforts. Sir, she says, give me this water so I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here. Then the conversation takes a turn. Go, call your husband, Jesus says. She freezes. I have no husband. Jesus gently replies, you're right. You've had 5, and the man you're with now isn't your husband. In that moment, her deepest secrets are laid bare. But instead of feeling shame, she feels seen, known, and still accepted. Sir, she says, her voice full of awe, I can see you are a prophet. Their conversation shifts to worship, not about where to worship, but how. Jesus explains that a time is coming and is now here when true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. It's not about a holy mountain or a sacred city. It's about a direct, honest connection with God. The woman processing all this says, I know the Messiah is coming. He will explain everything. And Jesus looks at her and says the words that change everything. I who speak to you, I am he. Just then, his disciples return, stunned to see him talking to a Samaritan woman. But she doesn't even notice. She leaves her water jar behind, the very reason she came, and runs back to her town. The shame that once weighed her down is gone, replaced by an electrifying hope. She bursts into the town square, shouting, Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah? Her testimony is so powerful that the whole town streams out to meet Jesus. They ask him to stay, and for 2 days he does. By the time he leaves, many believe, not just because of her story, but because they've heard him for themselves. But the story doesn't end there. Jesus travels on to Cana, where he once turned water into wine. A royal official, desperate and heartsick, travels for a day to find him. His son is at home dying. Sir, he begs, come down before my child dies. Jesus looks at him with a mix of sorrow and strength. Go, he says simply, your son will live. No miracle, no journey, just a single promise. The official's heart settles. He chooses to believe the word he was given and starts for home. On the way, his servants meet him, breathless with joy. Your boy is alive, they shout. When did he get better? The father asks. Yesterday, they reply, at 1 in the afternoon, the exact hour Jesus had spoken. At that moment, the man and his entire household believed. 2 stories, 2 different kinds of thirst. A woman at a well, thirsty for acceptance and a new beginning. A father on a desperate road, thirsty for a miracle. Jesus met them both right where they were. He saw the woman's hidden history and offered her a spring of living water that could wash away her shame forever. He gave the father a single word to stand on, a promise that outran his journey home. The lesson is timeless. Jesus meets us at our empty wells and on our desperate roads. He reveals our truth without crushing us and sends us forward on promises that are already at work, even when we can't see them. So, let me ask you, where are you drawing from a well that always leaves you thirsty? What would it look like right now to set down your own jar and ask him for that living water? Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, subscribe to our community for more Bible stories.